monsters, hold on. If one of the problems with having an always-on connection... Oops, excuse me. Of course, I have to die in every episode. I'll see you guys on the other end. Welcome back to another episode of MMO Anthropology, and I'm bringing everyone back into Diablo III. Why? Because it launched this week, and to something of a rather inauspicious event. Many people are quite angry over the fact that Diablo III only runs online, although it has a legacy... excuse me. Problems.
Not enough fury.
Oh, I'm quite annoyed at what they did to me not that long ago, so I think there should be enough fury there. Having internet only means that while you're playing what would be, a single player campaign, or at least even solo, you have to handle your internet connection being your weakest link, and not to mention potentially Diablo servers. Let me get these guys out of the way here. Okay. This room is all mine now. As a result, people have been experiencing that lag can be quite lethal, although as you saw probably at the very beginning of this episode, I got killed by making a stupid mistake. However, lag can also kill you just as easily by suddenly causing your character to freeze in place, and all the monsters, and what's really happening is the fact that the server is still running in the background. They're still beating the crap out of you even though it's not receiving your commands. Which means that if the server catches up, you're probably dead. Now, the Diablo series has quite literally grown out of a legacy of single-player gaming. The original Diablo was a single-player game that had multiplayer tacked on. It allowed you to get together with 3 of your friends at the same time, and people actually did LAN parties. That's where they trucked their computers across a city, sat them down in proximity to one another in a huge room on tables, and then connected them to each other with Ethernet cables. With Diablo 2, we got Battle.net, which gave us internet, the ability to get together on the internet. And the single player, the solo, and the Battle.net play were entirely separate. However, now with Diablo 3, we've ditched the solo player entirely, except that you still do have solo player, you're just connected the entire time to your social network, like here. And also, you can turn your game public if you felt like it. If I were to click this button, people could join my game and start kicking ass along with me, which would make the bad guys tougher, but it would also greatly increase the gameplay experience. But some people are not interested in the single player. However, since you have to be connected to the server, that means that while I'm in the single-player game, I can lag out, I can lose connection, and I'm entirely at the mercy of my internet connection and, well, Blizzard's servers. To this extent, because of the launch, their servers had such a terrible time that they were forced to apologize for what was happening to people. Numerous media outlets have come out on the rage expressed by many of the players who have been looking at what would have originally been a solo game now is forced to be online. Like, for example, yesterday, the Metacritic score hit a low 3.6. It's up to 3.9 right now, as you can see, but people are not happy about this, and there are complaints across the board that people have bought a game that they should be able to play solo, but can't access because, of course, the servers were down or having trouble or people were lagging in their internet connection. And if you go to the Amazon.com listing right now, it's at, $528 one-star reviews. People are not happy about this aspect of the game. They expected something that they were going to be able to play. Now, there's numerous expectations about how this always online is doing to people. One of them is that Blizzard is looking into a real money auction house. That means... Oh, let's not have a repeat of earlier. I should stop doing that. Alright, let's go back to town. Now, the real money auction house means that people will be selling items out of, well, their social play. Like, actually I don't have anything cool. There we go. I have a rare ring, which could potentially be sold on the real money auction house, except for its ridiculously low level. Now, everything that happens on the server, as I described before, so if you happen to be lagged out, the server's still running and you can be pulverized and killed, and this would be really bad for a hardcore player, i.e. people are playing characters who when they die, they're dead. I mean, they get wiped out. However, although I think that just means that you get knocked down to the normal tier rather than the hardcore tier if you get killed, which means you can't progress in hardcore anymore. As you can see, I'm still getting used to the game and, well, getting killed left and right. My barbarian right now is not well enough armored for the next region. So Blizzard is looking in order to make sure that everyone is connected here socially, so that there's a reason for them to look at the auction house and actually get items and pay money for them, which means that no matter what, you're interconnected with all of the social aspects of the game. It also means that people are pushed towards the real money auction house, or the auction house in general, which will allow, well, Blizzard to defray the costs of the server in the future, even when people aren't buying the boxes, because this is not a subscriber game. However, that doesn't mean that they couldn't have made a single solo player game that didn't require an internet connection at all. Although that would have mean that the person has to run what is essentially a server on their computer. Why couldn't it just have that sort of information? I guess that they don't want people to be able to easily data mine what's going to show up, or they also don't want people to be able to cheat at the game or lie to the server about what they're receiving. There's certainly some good elements to this, which is what Blizzard has learned from MMO games, for example, like World of Warcraft and etc., and that is that people do like having their characters available at all times, and that you can't lose progress. Even though I could get killed over and over, I could get cut off, I could walk away, every piece of gold that I successfully picked up and the server acknowledged to that point would remain on the server, and I would have access to it later when I came back to the game. Now, that's a really good thing about persistent worlds, but the entire lack of any sort of solo play without having to bow down to Blizzard servers has really caused a massive reaction in the gamer community. Does this mean that Blizzard should have gone in a different direction? Perhaps. I mean, at least they'd be looking out for the community who are looking for a single-player game in a game that has a legacy of being a single-player game with the attachment of other social aspects, like the achievements, like your social where you can join your friends' games and that sort of thing. I'm interested in what everyone else thinks about this. Have you been playing Diablo 3? Are you angry about the fact that you can only play it online? Have you been playing with your friends? Do you experience a great deal of lag? And what is it like for you? And hopefully you don't get killed as often as I do. Meanwhile, everyone have a good evening, good night, and good dreams. Well, there are some very good things about the social aspect of the game, like being able to play with your friends, for example. So, if you like what you've watched so far, and you want to know more about Diablo 3 or about video game culture, let me get behind this guy, be sure to rate, comment, subscribe.
Not yet recharged.
Poor ability. Be sure to leave a comment, rate, subscribe, or a Highland Walker will kill you with these stupid poison spores.